Hello friends! Let's continue to follow what's happening in Polish society. We have a tragedy on the M3 highway in Hungary involving Poles, a temporary discount package for fuel in Poland starting from August 17, and the closing of a loophole with fines for cars with Ukrainian license plates. In short, we are going to discuss the economy and the moral side of these issues. We have 3 news stories. The video will be short. We'll try to keep it within 9 minutes. Please watch until the end, like and subscribe. Friends, thank you so much to everyone who takes just 2 seconds for these simple actions. I appreciate your support. Alright, let's get started. Tragic news has come from Hungary, and to be honest, it makes your hair stand on end. On the night of August 16th, a Polish tourist bus overturned into a ditch on the M3 highway. There were 57 pilgrims on board, returning from a trip to Bosnia and Herzegovina. 12 people died, dozens more were injured with varying degrees of severity. To extract the trapped people from under the 24-ton vehicle, Hungarian rescuers had to use a heavy crane and special equipment. The preliminary version of what happened is simple, and perhaps even more frightening because of it. The driver simply fell asleep at the wheel on the completely straight stretch of road. Oh friends, I would like to carefully set aside all the current political context and just look at what's happening from the perspective of basic human morality. The death of people in a terrible road accident is an absolute, completely unjustified tragedy. No ideological disputes, state borders or historical grievances can or should devalue human life. Our channel's team expresses our sincerest and deepest condolences to the families of all those who died, and we wish a speedy recovery to those who were injured. Yes, at the same time, I want to specifically mention some, if I may say so, alternatively gifted individuals on social media, because I remember my own videos that I also post on Facebook. When Ukrainians died there, when news about such a tragedy in the comments only causes outright gloating. Oh, you are Ukrainians, my God, why should we feel sorry for you? I believe this only demonstrates the deepest moral degradation of such commenters. Mocking the deaths of ordinary people who are dying means completely losing your humanity and turning into a moral cripple. I understand Poland and Ukraine's relationship is quite tense right now. But I believe that no political stance can justify dancing on graves or just plain savagery. In the face of such tragedies, we must remain human, maintain critical thinking, and maintain moral integrity. So take care of yourselves, be careful when driving, be especially cautious on long trips, and never lose your humanity under any circumstances. Well, let's move on. Of course, the news about the loss of lives is tragic, but there is also good news, my friends. For all car owners, starting Monday, August 18th, pay attention to the calendar, Poland is temporarily bringing back the so-called CPM package. Fuel prices will be lower. Let's carefully break down this financial governmental mechanism. What's going on at gas stations and what's the main point of the decision? The government, well done, let's give a like to Tusk, made a decision to temporarily cut VAT, that's the value-added tax, on gasoline and diesel from 23% to 18%. This discount is valid for 2 weeks, from the 17th to the 30th, August 31st. So on August 30th and 29th, fill up your car completely, because on the 31st there will definitely be lines. According to the formula, the Ministry of Energy sets the following maximum prices at gas stations. 95-octane gasoline, no more than 6.41, will decrease by 85 groszy. 98-octane gasoline, no more than 7.20, will decrease by 88 groszy. Diesel 7.37, a decrease of 70 groszy. And gas 3.02 maximum. Although gas, in my opinion, is now 2.89 in Poland, from what I know. Well, write how much gas costs, because in Italy it's 2 euros per liter of gasoline. Let's get back to Poland. The Ministry of Energy will collect data daily from the 5 largest wholesalers and publish the maximum price cap for the next day. Compliance with the price limits will be strictly monitored by KAS Krajowa, the Scorp of Administration. And if the limit is exceeded, gas stations face a fine of 1 million zlotys. What we have here is a classic temporary tax intervention under pre-election or social pressure. The question is, what's the cost for the budget, right? This is an important point, because a full package of temporary tax cuts, even in the spring, after the price spike due to the conflict in the Middle East, already cost the Polish treasury almost 5 billion zlotys. These 2 weeks in August will add almost another $500 million to the bill, 495 million. Cutting taxes before the end of the summer vacation season is, of course, a pleasant step for car owners. But from the perspective of a market economy, it's just a temporary band-aid. As soon as September 1st comes and VAT returns to 23% prices, at the stations in Poland will immediately bounce back to where they were. Minister of Energy Miloš Matyko assures there will be enough fuel and no repeat of gas station banning. However, whether the program will be extended beyond August depends on the global market situation and oil prices. For the average driver, this is a great opportunity to fill up the tank at a discount at the end of August. But from a macroeconomic point of view, this is a temporary government subsidy at the taxpayer's expense, which only delays the inevitable return to market prices, which will happen very soon, in the fall. So, what else caught my attention, friends? How can we not talk about Ukrainians? So, vehicles with Ukrainian plates, starting September 4th, which is literally very soon, will no longer save you from fines from traffic cameras in Poland. The Polish Ministry of Transport has decided to seriously address the legal loophole, because of which foreigners, specifically Ukrainians who love fast driving, were avoiding fines from speed cameras. So, what is the essence of the legal problem? The speed camera is an impartial device. It doesn't care what license plates are on the car – Polish, German, Ukrainian or Sri Lankan. The lens snapped, recorded the speeding and wrote down the license plate number. But then a bureaucratic snack begins, let's call it that. Within the European Union, the databases are integrated. The fine notice is sent directly to the owner's place of residence. Outside the European Union, until recently, Polish authorities simply didn't have a mechanism for direct automatic access to third country databases. As a result, a truly unbelievable situation emerges. In 2025, there were 77,200 recorded violations by vehicles with Ukrainian license plates. But actual fines, mandates, it's a funny word, yes, mandates, were issued to only about 2,500 drivers. Got it? Do you understand? 77,000 recorded violations and 2,500 fines. The system's effectiveness is somewhere around 3%. Naturally, local drivers who get these tickets in the mail regularly and without fail have a logical question. What is this? Is there something else in Poland? Where is the justice? How will the government close this loophole? They are tackling the issue from 3 angles simultaneously. A bilateral database, which came into effect through agreements between Warsaw and Kiev on cooperation, will allow direct requests for owner data from Ukrainian registries. Next, administrative liability. Lawmakers want to move away from the endless game of guess who was behind the wheel. If the owner does not specify the driver, the fine is automatically issued to the owner. The proposed fines for speeding are quite substantial. 1,500 zlotys if you exceed the speed limit by 30 km per hour and 7,500 zlotys if you exceed it by 71 km per hour or more. The fine for running a red light is 6,000 zlotys. What else? A unified registry for the border guard and the police is being made, along with a single traffic offenders database. If a car with foreign plates enters Poland again or gets stopped at a routine patrol check, the officer immediately sees all your previous offenses and will issue you a ticket right on the spot, to save everyone the extra hassle. So, what's the result? This is a classic example of how the state apparatus, with a certain delay but inevitably, adapts its regulatory framework to new realities. The period of automotive lawlessness and impunity on the roads is naturally coming to an end. I think that's the right thing. Well, although, of course, sometimes it can still be frustrating. Because I remember once I was driving... When was that? Damn, let me remember now. That was when I was coming back from Newcastle. Yeah, I was coming back from sunny Newcastle. I flew into Krakow and I had to travel... Well, actually, I had to travel 100 kilometers. And it was already night. And I was driving, well, the speed... Well, you know, just a bit. I was driving calmly. Turns out it was higher, yeah, I'll say right away. I broke the speed limit. And it was... Wait, how was it? Yeah, that's it. I just didn't pay attention. I mean, my GPS was on, but I didn't notice there was a speed camera ahead. even though it had warned me, and I just wanted to turn on some podcast to listen to. You know, combine business with pleasure. I still had to drive 100 kilometers. I needed to entertain myself somehow. While turning on the podcast, I didn't notice my foot pressing the pedal, causing me to go about 7 to 10 kilometers over the limit. Well, so now I'm just waiting for a fine. I just hope it was a false alarm, and that no fine will actually come. Well, we'll see. And if it does come, then it's deserved. It's deserved. Because really, the speed limit there was 50, and I was going 59, something like that. Oh well. Well, if anything, I'll ask the Poles to deduct it from my Polish social benefits and transfer it there right away, because... Thank you for your attention, friends. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it's important. Greetings to the working class. Machinists, turners, fitters, computer guys, builders, warehouse workers, paving workers. If I didn't mention someone, sorry. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye.